Yo! Happy Friday, or whenever you do view this video. We're coming at you for another episode of Evening. Episode 10 already. Episode 10. And as always here, I find myself making the commute. You know, after being out and about, I find myself right now Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You remember my vlog video cast from last week on Evening. That was episode 9. Do check it out. I'm looking to reestablish the fort to the Philly area. And Cherry Hill had a job interview. Went pretty good. Went pretty good for the kid. Can't complain. Hope the weekend has been, and the week has been great for you guys. Just here to talk about some of the things.
At the end of the street, turn left.
Want to talk about some of the things that happened in the past week. And pop culture and, things along that line. The news.
Turn left on Garden Park Boulevard, then take the first left.
And I excuse my GPS. Yeah, I like to use the GPS. I don't like to use like Waze and all that other stuff. I like to use my my GPS. Me and Mr. What's the name of my GPS? Me and Mr. Something. Forget the name. No, it's a known brand.
Turn left at the traffic light.
Yeah. Couple of things, coming out this past week, and I do ask that you check out my other 2 channels too. It's the Tom Brand 1, which is a comedy channel. It's adult-friendly comedy, not for the kids, and From the Bleachers Sports Show, which is, you guessed it, sports. Where do we begin? Massachusetts. Some interesting news out of Massachusetts. What they've done is they're going to be voting on, a 75% excise tax on vaping cigarettes. On vapor, on vapes. And looking to put an end to menthol cigarettes, a ban. It's funny, right? And I know it's right now. Cigarettes are illegal. It's your right to smoke right now if you want to. That's your right. I'm sure we're all aware of the dangers of smoking, and now it seems like to be at least uncertainty about vaping. Make no mistake about it, folks. As much as, in my humble opinion here, as much as the state, they're kind of vouching or saying how they are concerned about your health, make no mistake about it. There is no way that, I don't think anyway, that vapes or e-cigarettes or cigarettes will ever be banned. Let's just look at Massachusetts, for example, because this is where this story is originating from. Because that right there is the state revenue. That's the revenue for the state, which is what they are concerned about. What the government officials are concerned about is revenue. That's what they're concerned about. They're concerned about the state revenue. Heck, and listen. The only way, realistically, that you might think that this would work
in
is
3 miles, take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
No problem. I-295 North. The only way that this would work, if the state was really, 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 really concerned about your health, the only way I could see it working is if they completely, just insanely raise the price on cigarettes. Which, even if they do, people are still going to be buying them. And, there's still going to be an illegal market for them. I'm sure people are still buying cigarettes online somehow, or going to Indian reservations somehow. But heck, I'm sure if you're New Hampshire is dying and struggling from everything, all indications that you hear. I'm sure New Hampshire is just begging and pleading for Massachusetts to go with this plan or supposed bill when it comes to vote. They're like, oh, definitely, go for it. Go for it. New Hampshire is definitely struggling there. I want to tell you that, I used to smoke. And people ask me how I quit smoking. I would probably tell you, for me, what was the most effective way of how I stopped smoking is, listen, I knew I needed to stop smoking. And, you know that it's not good for you. You read everything, those commercials that you see on TV with the guy with the hole in his... at least there was a commercial here in New York that ran. Individual had a hole in his throat. It was a very graphic commercial that they would play. It was from the New York Quit line, I believe, is the one that sponsored it. So these commercials would run. So seeing that, definitely did its number. You also, you see, you want to be able to run, you want to be able to do certain things, and you see the limitations that smoking does on you. And I also have a toddler, so I can't be smoking with a toddler around me. No one wants to smell that smoke. So it was time to quit smoking. And what I found is I set up a date, a cutoff date, meaning no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You must quit smoking by such and such a date. And I circled it, or I made a mental note in my head that this is my last day of smoking. That way, I find you're psyching yourself up. You're being mentally prepared for doing what you have to do to quit that annoying habit. And Shantex, you hear stories about Shantex. I maybe they have perfected it now, but I heard stories about Shantex. You hear about the patch. And you hear about the nicotine gum, but then I hear people about being addicted to the nicotine gum, and then you're ruining your teeth and your jaws, and that seemed like it was another led down another addiction. So I just wanted to avoid all of that altogether. I'll be honest with you, the first couple of days, it was rough. It was definitely rough. I had and I'll be honest with you, I had an e-cigarette, not a vape, but an e-cigarette. It was a week dose. And whenever I had that urge or that little itch, I would take two or three drags, and that was it. After about 5 days, that's when kind of the urge has stopped. It stopped. Me before I decided to quit smoking, I wasn't that much of a smoker. We all have our obviously our definitions of smoking, how much is too much. I probably told you smoke maybe on average was a better word, maybe 4 to 5 cigarettes a day. If I was home, doing nothing, then it was a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's the easiest way. You gotta be mentally prepared. So you gotta mentally prepare yourself. I'll be honest, I did slip off the wagon once. I had it was like a very, very to the extreme, chaotic, nerve-wracking day. I had about I want to say 3 drags of a cigarette, but then that was it, and I put that away. It hasn't, and I haven't done anything since. After I had those 2 or 3 drags, it wasn't like I was feeling the urge to smoke after that again. Anyway, maybe because it was 2 or 3 drags, but I don't. I can't speak one way or another about that. But for me, setting a date, worked best for me. In the news too, on top of the menthol ban, there we also hear of a story coming out of you guessed it, guys, Florida, where a individual who's about 300, and the man weighed about 330 pounds, I want to say, or 330 pounds, if I'm getting my story correctly here, folks. And sometimes you don't know if you're, if you want to chuckle, if you want to laugh, if you want to cry. 300-pound man, a little bit more than 300 pounds, arrested for having a needle with meth. Then found, as they took him in to the police precinct, they found deep in his belly cavity, so he had a big belly, they found a bag of meth. So underneath, under his belly, he hid meth. At least, he didn't use the excuse of the meth flying in his window, like we had an individual recently in the news too, claiming that his car window was open and that the meth flew in from outside and it wasn't his meth. Now, if this was a drug mule, I guess, because I didn't know didn't go into specifics. This drug mule was he had one job. He had one job to do. Maybe he was going to go on a run before he got caught. Maybe he was going to do, who knows what he was going to do. He had one job, was to deliver said product, and he couldn't even hide it well. That's like hiding it under your belly. That's like, all right, I just don't care. I really do not care. Let me just hide it under my belly. Yikes, folks. Yikes. Now, the man, I wonder, you wonder if after that experience of finding meth underneath his belly, if they had to now, because of like, all right, wait a minute, this guy has meth over here, I wonder if they had to check the, butt cavity to make sure that nothing was suspicious, because you could never really trust anyone too much nowadays. You know what I mean? These people, man. Swear to you, these people sometimes cannot make this stuff up. No, you can't, my friends. And, Florida, I don't know what it is about Florida, but, yep, he was a Florida man. There was another story circulating as well about a man from Ohio who has a extremely long rap sheet. And believe it or not, he was actually most recently in jail. He did a stint. Most recently was in jail 6 years ago. Released. Now he was on probation when he got caught again. On probation. He is 88 years old. 88! The man is trying to keep busy by robbing high-end places. High-end neighborhoods.
In 3/4 of a mile, take the exit on the right to I-295 north toward Mount Holly.
Another thing about Cherry Hill here, the traffic. Nothing compared to New York, and that's a good thing. Anyway, so he was robbing, high-end residents. He was robbing them of fur coats, because it is Ohio, so it gets cold in Ohio. So I could see that. He also was robbing silverware, because who doesn't want to eat on nice with nice plates and forks? Who doesn't want that, right? Because we all need nice silverware. I wonder if he's since he's 88 years old, what exactly is his dish of choice now. I mean, you figure it's got to be better than whatever the prison food he's been having. And he's also the odd thing about this story. What I found odd is he was also robbing them of Tupperware. Tupperware, folks. Tupperware. Because apparently, sometimes when you make too much food...
Take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
You guessed it, folks. So, apparently, this individual was stealing Tupperware as well. Because sometimes, listen, you figure these people, these expensive homes, they go all out. Have you ever gone into an expensive, beautiful mansion? They have those chandeliers, those beautiful kitchen islands, right? Granite tops, marble. So you figure probably that they have big Tupperware, because they're always probably cooking on those kitchens with those fancy islands. So I'm sure they have fancy smancy Tupperware. And this is what this burglar wanted. So he would be stealing Tupperware too. He was stealing Tupperware.
In 2 miles, take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
Yeah, so he would steal Tupperware. But to his credit, he was so neat. Because no one wants to come home after a burglary with everything being thrown upside down. He was so neat that he left everything the way he's seen it. When you play as a kid, when you play with your toys, you're always told put everything back, and that is what he did. He put everything back.
1.25 miles, take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
Yeah, and he put everything back to where months would pass by before these people actually realized that they were robbed. As I'm making you this video vlog cast, there is really no word on his punishment after his latest string of robberies. But hopefully, if he is convicted, he will be able to take that fancy Tupperware. That way he could
take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
That way he could, put it in that his Tupperware, his food from prison. Because who doesn't want to eat nice slop and mush and save that prison food for the next day?
In 1/2 mile, take the exit on the right to New Jersey Turnpike, then keep left.
He was, and it's like, you're 88 years old. Why are you doing this? Was he maybe bored already? I don't know. Maybe was he lonely, didn't have things to do? Is he mentally messed up with this, where this was his way of bonding? I don't know. Who knows? But 88 years old and still causing ruckus, still causing problems. We have another story too.
Take the exit
this is
on the right to New Jersey Turnpike, then keep left.
Kind of a small little tidbit here. You are apparently this is the Hallmark channel, where they will. Now I don't know all the specifics as far as rules and regulations, but Hallmark channel will pay you, I believe it is $1,000, to watch. I believe it's 24 hours straight of is it 24 hours straight of, might not be it. I believe it's 24 hours straight of watching holiday movies. And, you know, and that's, you know, from the Hallmark channel. That's like a cool gig, right? Make $1,000. A lot easier than some of the mumbo jumbo that I have to do at work just to make a quick dollar, right? Seriously, who doesn't want to do that? You know, there actually are some good, holiday movies. Pretty good holiday movies. You know, my favorite of all time, though,
be in the left lane,
is the Griswolds. Who doesn't like the Griswolds? Christmas Story, right? Their movies are classic. I'm sorry, guys, they're classic movies. I like that. Which one was that? Where they go to Wally World. That's always good. Going Wally World. When they how about the one where that movie where grandma is strapped on the hood of the car? That makes me chuckle. I'm sorry, I still chuckle thinking about that movie. Yeah, so you could do that and put your applications through to, I guess, Hallmark Channel, whoever it is, because you know, I'm not a professional broadcaster. I'm just shooting the breeze with you, and I think I got majority of the story right. If not, I do apologize. You know, they had the
continue on New Jersey Turnpike.
They had the Democratic convention on, and I'll tell you one thing. Here's a little secret. And listen, to me, they're it's all the same. Republican, Democrat, yada yada yada. It's all the same. But that's for I hate them all, to be honest with you. I mean, but that's for another place or you know, another channel. But geez, one way to Thanksgiving is around the corner, right? And my little tip for you guys, besides trying to pace yourself when you're eating Thanksgiving dinner, my advice for you, if you want to eliminate your Christmas list as to who you should be buying for during Christmas time, if that list is a little bit too big and there's some relatives that you don't want on that list, to get them off that list, what I think you should do is you should bring up politics at the Thanksgiving table, and that is a sure way of eliminating people that you have to buy for Christmas. And you could start that elimination process at the Thanksgiving table. You're welcome in advance. Yeah, Thanksgiving, by the way, you know, well, let's lead into that. Who doesn't like Thanksgiving? Everyone loves Thanksgiving. Just be careful you don't go into a turkey coma. Gobble, 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 gobble. Imagine if the turkeys, with all this crazy stuff going on in the world, imagine if one of these years, 50 years from now, when the world is completely upside down, because you know what the way the world is, it's batshit crazy. It's going to be heading towards this. What if the turkeys are going after us to try to eat us instead of us on Thanksgiving? You following? Believe me, with the way the world is batshit crazy, that could be a very strong possibility of turkeys coming after us to try to eat us in a few years from now. Very well possible, my friends. Now, when I look at Thanksgiving coming along the way, what I think should not be on the Thanksgiving table, meaning it should be eliminated from Thanksgiving. It is, right now it is pretty common where it is on almost every table a part of Thanksgiving. But what I would tell you folks is that you must eliminate apple pie. That's right, apple pie. Nada, no apple pie. Apple pie bach, which means bad, as I would often say to my 3-year-old. Bach, bach, bad. The reason why apple pie is bad is because I place it with chocolate. I place it with cookies, and they're just bad because they are bad, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's because I hate it and they're bad. Apple pie, though I like apples, when I look at apple pie, it just it seems mushy. The inside of it is mushy. It's a little bit too creamy, too much. Now you might say, well, how about regular pie? No, regular pie is not good. All desserts, for that matter, that you have at the Thanksgiving table, if it's not ice cream, should be banned. So now I go back to what I was saying. Ban all cookies, pies, apple pies, chocolates from the Thanksgiving table, and they are to be replaced by ice cream only. And the ice cream that is acceptable is vanilla or strawberry only. Nothing more, nothing less. Take that word of advice for Thanksgiving, and obviously do enjoy yourself for Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Don't overeat. I hope all is well, guys. Take care of yourself and each other, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon. Do check out my other 2 channels. Check out my prior videos. I'm going to have another few trips up on this channel very soon as far as places I visited. They're all coming down the pipe. I've been kind of lacking in that last couple of weeks, but they're coming your way, guys. So I hope all is well. Toodles! See you later, Gators. Happy Thanksgiving.